This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So Eddie Hearn, he spoke to Sky Sports, and he said that in his mind, Fury Wilder should happen this year. If it cannot happen this year, then Tyson Fury should defend that belt against Dillian Whyte. In other words, move the mandated Dillian Whyte world title shot from February and move it forward to maybe a November or December time. That's of course if Fury and Wilder don't fight this year. Because as we know with Bob Arum, he said recently that the only way that Fury Wilder happens this year is if they can get crowd participation. So everything is dependent on whether or not they can get a crowd or not. Now ultimately, that's nobody's problem but their problem. That's the brutal honesty of it. I know people don't want to hear that, but that's their problem. If you can't get a crowd, just do it behind closed doors then. I mean, how much more revenue is a gate going to produce? I don't know. But the heavyweight division shouldn't be held up because of finances. It shouldn't be held up because of crowd participation. Fury Wilder signed a rematch when they didn't need to sign a rematch because Fury was installed as mandatory. Those of you who know boxing will know that when a mandatory is there, you don't have to sign a rematch. So they openly signed a rematch. Of course, the pandemic has pushed everything back and the rematch should have happened in July just gone. We understand that. But the fact is, it's nobody's fault. It's nobody's problem but your own. You didn't have to sign a rematch, but you did. So if a crowd is going to stop Fury Wilder, then let's get Fury versus Whyte. Let's get that done. Both of these guys are in the UK. I'm presuming with Eddie Hearn's words that he's quite happy, if necessary, to do it behind closed doors. It's much more convenient for two Brits to fight here in the UK than clearly it is for a Brit to travel to the US, where apparently with the whole pandemic, again, I don't know this for a fact, but what I'm hearing is that situations in certain parts of America are far worse than what they are here in the UK. So crowd participation may be a long way off. So for Bob Arum to come out and say that, well, if they can't get a crowd in November or December, then they're going to push the fight to maybe February. Well, that's not fair. That's not fair on Dillian Whyte, it's not fair on the WBC, and it's not fair on the boxing fans as well, because it's a fight that we don't really need to see. So for me, I think that that could well be the answer. Just get Fury, Whyte done with. Of course, everything dependent on as well, in 2 weeks' time, Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. All of that has to be, play into it, of course. If things don't go well for Dillian, then obviously Fury, Wilder, go fight whenever you're going to fight because you no longer have a mandatory, okay? But currently, that's the situation. So if Dillian Whyte gets past Povetkin, let's just get Fury and Whyte in November or December here, then the winner can go fight Wilder. So nobody is denying Wilder his world title opportunity back. It's just a case of if you're willing to wait until February or whatever, well, let's just swap things around a bit. And I think a lot of boxing fans would probably agree with that. Maybe even a lot of Wilder fans may actually agree with that and say, well, rather than have Fury and Wilder potentially in February time, why not have Tyson Fury against Dillian Whyte now? At least that way there's no problems. There's no problems with the timescale. Because what we do know is that Joshua and Fury, these guys, should they both win their respective matches, they want to have a fight in the summer. So there's more than enough time for the WBC to be defended twice more before then, much like there is with Anthony Joshua. Currently, he's got Kubrat Pulev. Now, again, if people say, but it's a rematch, it's a contractual rematch, Fury, Wilder, they have to fight each other because there's a contractual rematch. As I said before, they didn't have to sign it, but they have. So yes, now they have to fight each other. But it doesn't necessarily have to be for the belt. The contract will be that they fight each other. It's irrespective of whether or not the WBC belt is on the line or not. Now, I think that by having Dillian Whyte and Tyson Fury now, listen, if Dillian Whyte's so easy, Fury should get through him no problem, right? And then just go fight Wilder anyway. So the rematch will happen, it's just that it's not going to happen next. And I don't think too many people will disagree with that. I really don't. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens. First things first, more importantly for Dillian, of course, he's got to get past Alexander Povetkin on the fight count 4 on August 22nd. So all going well for Dillian. He comes through that one, then we'll have to wait and see where the land lies, I suppose. But anyway, drop your thoughts below about it, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all in the next video.